welcome back to another special warm-up show with the hockey coach Guru Cold Frenchies directly from the Sunshine State in Florida. And we have to go all the way to the north to find a co-host from Ontario, Mr. ENORTAP in the house.
Hello, coach, and hello, Hockey Nation.
Welcome back, Mr. ENORTAP.
It's hump day, coach.
2 game. Only 2 games.
That's all.
That's it. That's all. We're going to show up. We're going to give the prediction. We leave in 15 minutes. But we have a lot of things to do. We're going to put you on the 5Q, the 5 question tonight, and we're going to ask the people in the chat to answer also. So every Wednesday, Tuesday, we do this. It depends how many games. And we take advantage of the tonight to have a slow night to take those 5Q. And we're going to put you right there. Ask you fun question about something happening around the league, everything like that. So that's what's happening. And of course, we have a couple of news around the league. We'll talk about a little bit. But the next 15 minutes, 10 minutes, we're going to talk about your face-off of the opening introduction. What pay your attention to the last 24 hours. And then at the end, you're going to be on breakaway. And you're going to talking about maybe Montreal Canadiens. Who knows? We're going to surprise us. I'm not going to ask her what you're going to talk about because it's not the time. It's time to welcome everybody in Mr. Yarmo Tannen and the house.
Hello, Yarmo.
Mr. from upstate New York, Mr. Jose Duarte is back in the house tonight.
Jose. Welcome.
Mr. Jose Duarte have a good night last night. He got 2 right score. Maybe not on the prediction, but on the right score, he got it very well about that. Congratulations about this. And from Utah, number 1 fan of Los Angeles King in the house tonight. Run with Kings 20 is back with us.
Welcome, Ron.
And Miss Ellen Keeve, directly from Newfoundland, number 1 fan of Montreal Canadiens. She's back with us, Mr. ENORTAP tonight. We welcome her.
Hello, Ellen. Welcome.
I would be curious, what's the weather over there? Because this is north. It's really, really north.
Where's she from?
Newfoundland.
Where's she from? Oh, I don't know.
So it'll be interesting to see her. But talking about there, we have to talk about Lil Perrault because he's back with us tonight, Mr. Richard Mullen. Welcome back.
Richard, welcome.
The stand-up comic is back with us. Yamo didn't have a very good night last night, Mr. Yamo. I think I have only 3 last night. So we have to go to talk about, but Nooner did very well, 7-4, followed by Mr. ENORTAP, 6-5. Then we have a coach, Joseph Saint-Jacques, John Grega, Jose Duarte, Richard Mullen, 5-6, Kelly, Ron King, Saveleo, François Pitt, 4-7, Ross Yamo, Danny T. And I think we give a chance to Center Ice. I think he have 2, but I think I gave him 3. But he deserves it anyway. And then we have the right score, Mr. Jose Duarte with, I put 92, but he was only 2, honestly. And then we have Joseph, me, Sanha, Yamo, Richard, and Center Ice with 1. Fantasy, Kelly, and Center Ice did 6 points with Matthews. And then nobody that got the total goal. The maximum was 72, and we have new rules where you get under of the score, you cannot get over 7 goal. And that's happening about that one over there. So he's directly from Ontario. Not only Dan Ogilvy, but I'm talking about Dixon Automobile Group in the house tonight.
Welcome, Dixon, in the house.
Welcome back, mister. That's what he got. He sell car. That's why you visit him when you do your faire a tap over there. You bring your car and then you go in the lap, you lap and behind his location. So great to see this.
He gives me special tires.
Oh, not this one over there. I don't know. The keyboard is ready to rock and roll.
You are awesome.
Miss Kelly back in the house tonight.
Hello, Kelly.
Yamo, he said he tried to be smart, and he picked Seattle last night. Well, he was almost smart because he was 4-3 at some point. So you almost became really really smart, Yamo, but it did not do well.
It didn't materialize. No.
I live in the east coast of Canada, Coach. The weather is not too bad.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, that's good.
I live on the east coast of Canada. And the weather is not too bad. That's great. Right, when I rhythm myself on the pick, I go and have a bad night. The next day, it's called a roller coaster about that one of them. Oilers were doing damn Calgary last night. I bet Colorado and they lead 3-0, but another bad noise tonight. And Mr. John Grega is with us tonight. John Grega, welcome back.
Welcome, John.
We don't have yet the two brothers in the house, so we have to see. The bouncer is not here yet, and the chef of Tommy with all the food is not here yet, and the biscuit, the cookies, everything is big over there is not there yet, and we have to wait a little bit. But before that, I think Mr. Untitled, we're going to start right away with, of course, you know what I'm talking about. It's time to bring you all the way on Face Up, Drop That Talk right now. But pay attention the last 24 hours with 11 game. I'm sure you have some story about that. I'm sure you have some information you can bring to us. But before we start, Daryl Adams at 331 is in the house.
Welcome.
Coach, any word on the Edmonton is play tonight? If not, any words when?
I don't think so. I don't think he's playing tonight.
No, he's not in. By the way, Mr. Jeff Petrie play tonight.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
So can I go back to my pick?
Yeah. I did not change it, but I just want to mention to you. And then Ellen said, I have to travel to Florida to get some vitamin D. The sun is hiding from us.
You and me both, Ellen.
Is it you teaching all the stuff like that?
No, it's a fact of life.
And we have already the Mr. RG back in the house with all the update. Here we go, Mr. Untitled. It's time for to be by yourself. You're the star of the show.
Oh, I didn't know where to pick up here, Coach. There were so many sub-stories last night with all the games that I just decided to pick out 1 or 2 points from each game. The first game was the Washington and Calgary. Washington winning that one 5-4. The big item there, of course, Ovi tying Jagger's career goal list and moving up to third place. He had 2 goals. One of them, the tying goal, was on an empty netter. And then he had another opportunity to break it last night, but it was a great save by one of the defensemen there on Calgary. The second game, Chicago and Anaheim. What a display there, right? 8 goals by Chicago. A lot of these games went over again. We had Kane, Strome, DeBrincat. They all shined for the Hawks. As a matter of fact, Kane, I think, had 16 points. Strome had 4. DeBrincat had 4. You know what? I think the new GM there, Kyle Davidson, he's going to sort of hold off, I think, from any idea of trying to trade Kane before the trade deadline. That's for sure. These guys are really clicking at this point. Next game, Minnesota 5, Rangers 2. I mean, here we saw yet again, put in Georgiev, the New York Rangers are a different team, right? When they have Shesterkin in there, a lot of confidence. And if that's not the definition of a Hart Trophy winner, I don't know what is really. Next game, we had Nashville and Dallas, classic 4-pointer game. You know what? It was a battle right down to the end. Dallas had the 1-0 lead, but 2 late goals by Nashville, especially Yossi's, I think, with about a minute and a half, were big goals. Dallas's 4-game winning streak came to an end when they were hoping to at least get 1 point out of it. And they stay, I think, a point ahead of Dallas now for that third spot. Then we had Ottawa surprise St. Louis again. The woes continue for St. Louis. They're 0-3-1 now in their last 4 games. They have to really seek some extra scoring there, because secondary scoring, because right now it's not doing the trick. Winnipeg and Tampa Bay, another high-scoring game. Winnipeg winning 7-4, albeit 2 of the goals were empty netters. The only consistent thing about Winnipeg is their inconsistency. That's all I can say about that. Next game, we had Seattle and Toronto, the one you did, Coach. A great game that went back and forth, again, blowing a lead. And then who else but Austin Matthews to the rescue with his hat trick. And I think it raised this goal total to 43, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then we had Philadelphia, big shocker over Vegas. I don't think Vegas really played a bad game as much as Hart played a great game. I think he had about 46, 47 saves in that game. Vegas on first of a 5-game road trip over 8 days. So, they're going to have a tough schedule moving forward. So they're going to have to really start putting some W's together here. Otherwise, they could find themselves on the outside looking in. And who knows what's going to happen here. Vegas' next game, of course, is going to be against Buffalo, in Buffalo, where Eichel returns to the scene of the crime, right? We'll see if Buffalo plans a nice video tribute for Eichel or not. We'll have to wait and see. So next we have Colorado, New Jersey. New Jersey won that game 5-3. Colorado had a 3-0 lead. It looked like they were going to blow them out of the water. But, some very good goaltending by Nico Dawes, 23 saves for them. Tatar picked up his 400th career point for New Jersey. And, of course, this was Lindy Ruff's 776th win in his NHL career, moving him just one win ahead of Paul Maurice for 6th place overall. Florida, 4-3 over Pittsburgh. Hard game here to really grasp. Crosby is at his top of his game right now. He's on a 7-game point streak with his 19th goal of the season. But Florida really established themselves like they always do. It was good to see that Bobrovsky looked a lot better with the 1-game rest that he had, with Spencer Knight being in the other night. And the final game of the night, I'm glad Arizona won, keeping Montreal in last, so we have that first-round pick. 9-2 over Detroit. And what's happening with Detroit, I don't know. The surprise there is really Nedeljkovic and Grace. Like they're just not getting the job done, and it's making it hard for them to really get into the games. Arizona is now in the last 2 games have scored 17 goals. That's pretty amazing for them.
That's right. 17 goals
and I think we saw, if I'm not mistaken, in that game, Nedeljkovic started the game. Then Greece came in. Then they went back to Nedeljkovic. In the end, he allowed 7 goals, and that's not a good metric.
Yep, I agree with you about that one. Then thanks for the resume of all the game last night. You have a couple of milestones. Backstrom Ovechkin played a 1,000 game in NHL yesterday. It was great to see that. And then, Marner and Matthews continues to score every time. That's funny because it looked like this year when you take the lead 3-0, you maybe lose the game. And they snap also the Colorado. They snapped the 23-0-0 on take the lead, and then after that they lose the lead. So that would be important. Edmonton is still the only team right now. They are 20-0-0. Once they take the lead, once they score the first goal of the game, they're still 20-0-0. So we're interesting. We have Monsieur Simon Deschênes in the house tonight. Nooner is in the house tonight with Walking Out, everybody. Thank you so much to be with us tonight.
Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Salut, mon Simon. Bienvenue dans la maison. Ron said, what is going on with the top team losing the weak bottom team in the second half of the season?
Well, I don't know if it's really anything more than the fact that a lot of the teams that have determined that they're out of it are playing with a lot less pressure. And so it's a lot easier to play that way than it is, trying to establish.
Well, the reason I would say for me is because they have a lot of game back-to-back. So a lot of teams play 16, 17 game, 15 game this month. You take about Calgary this week, play 5 game. So, whatever, who you are, the percentage of win back-to-back are not a lot. And then you play 3 games in 4 nights. It's not a lot. So that's what's happening at that moment. The reschedule, the COVID, the Olympics restrain a lot of schedule during the Olympics. And then after that, then you go to March and April. You have a lot of games left and right. Look, 13 games tomorrow night. And you have 55 game this week, and then only 2 tonight. So 11 yesterday, 13 tomorrow, 10 and 10 this weekend. This is a busy weekend of the year with 10 and 10. So you have 20 teams play Saturday. Yeah, some teams going to be back-to-back, like Montreal play back-to-back this weekend. So it's a one problem because you have a lot of goal. And then you have teams expect to win, they lose because of that situation. Not everybody can win back-to-back usually. And then when you do that, remember, you play the second backup goaltender or you back up the goaltender number 3, depending who they are. So, example,
we saw that last night quite a bit, And the other startling fact is the amount of goals they've gone up this year. I think we're now, after last night's game, it's at 6.2 or 6.18, something like that, in terms of the average number of goals per game. So, the interesting thing I heard about that was the fact that, and I really didn't think about it. I heard it from Marty Biron this morning. He explained it away, and it's very plausible. It's the fact that a lot of these goalies have not played a full season. This is now their 3rd year in a row. And so it's catching up to them, especially the ones that are playing frequently. And, it shows the importance of having 2 solid goaltenders nowadays.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with you about that one there. And talking about the goaltender, we're not talking about the winner of the day. And we have, of course, Mr. Nooner. He's the winner of the day with a record of 7-4. Congratulations, Mr. Nooner. You did very well about that one there. So, we have to give him that one over there. Oh, we have a problem here because I did not hear that. We'll do it again. There we go. The right score, Mr. Jose Duarte with 2. We have many other with 1 last night. And finally, the fantasy with Austin Matthews, AM34. Muffin have 6 points last night. It's Andrew Lepage and Kelly did it again. So congratulations for all the winner of the day. And for the most goal of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, nobody did it because the max goal last night was 87 or 85 goal. I cannot recall it in my head right now. And we did the max was me and you, Mr. ENORTAP, 72. And the difference cannot be over 7. There's a new rule from Deloitte and Smith verification. And it was negotiated last night late, and it was confirmed this morning. So we have to go with the rules. That's how it works. But before we move on, Mr. ENORTAP, we have to do it. Here we go. The winner of the day, River Congratulations, everybody. They did it yesterday. You did an amazing, great job. And again, they did it again. That's what's happening. So we have a few minutes, of course, because we have only 2 games. If you have any question you want to sharing with us, or you want to ask a question about hockey, that's the right time now, because that's we have a free at that moment. That's make a lot of sense. Ron said about that one over there. And until we wait for the question, Mr. ENORTAP, I'm going to bring you. I'm going to bring you on this area right there, where we're going to ask you a couple of questions. If you turn that during the time, and then we can go from there, and the people can answer that also for sure. The first one I want to talk to you is the Rays. It's a little bit like the sport book or the looking right now. At the beginning of the season, start of the season, Matthew was 900, McDavid was 200, Chesterkin was at 5,000. March 8, it was still a little bit McDavid, and now it's all about March 9. It's Matthews to wrap at 200, and Chesterkin still at 500, and McDavid at 400. So my question to you and for everybody, maybe someone else, who believe right now should win the Art Trophy as the MVP of the season?
Well, I'll tell you who I think right now, as of right now, is in third, and that would be McDavid. I think, given the fact that at the beginning of the year, the pace he was going, we were thinking 150, 160 points this year for this guy, but it's tapered off for him, unfortunately. But I'd put him third, and then it's a tough choice between these two. I'd have to go right to the definition of what Hart Trophy means, and to me, if Shesterkin is not in the net, New York is not winning any of its playoff games.
You see it yesterday.
I'd have to go with Shesterkin, although I really admire Matthews. Like, this guy, he's really developed in one heck of a sniper. I think we're looking at a guy that, by the end of his career could easily have, 750 to 800 goals when his career is done.
He's on the pace right now to get 62 goals this year.
Yes, and we haven't had that in quite a while. And also his defensive game has improved quite a bit. So it's a tough one, but I throw my vote to Shesterkin right now.
All right. Everybody's against you. Kelly took McDavid, and then you have Ron with Kings took Matthews, and Yamo took Matthews also. So and Nona took also Matthews. So you can see it's fun way about that one over there. Jose Duarte said Matthews about that one over there. The next question I want to ask you for the fans and the chat is, we have 2 logo. Kelly said, I took McDavid. No, coach. And the 2 logo I put there, right, is the Vancouver and the Edmonton Oilers. They are on the race right now to participate to the playoff. We know that. Whatever, Vancouver is a little bit behind. And now they have 7 games this weekend. Again, the next homestand is 7 games. My question to you, it's not about who's going to make the playoff. Who is going to be finished in front of each one of them? So is it Vancouver is going to be in front of Edmonton, or do you believe Edmonton is going to finish in front of Vancouver at the end of the season?
Oh, that's a very good question. Wow.
Sean B., welcome aboard, Mr. Sean. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man. Welcome. Yeah, right now, I think they've played the exact same number of games. I think at 57. And I think the Oilers are, if I'm not mistaken, 2 points ahead. I got to believe, I think a lot will depend on what happens at the trade deadline, too. But as they're composed right now, I think that Vancouver will surpass the Oilers and finish slightly ahead of them, whether it means a playoff spot or not for either one of the teams. That I don't know yet. And the reason why I go with Vancouver is I think they have the better goaltending.
Possible about that one there. And Ronan said Canucks need 5W out of the 7 to keep a place in the stand. Welcome, Mr. Ronan. Richard said depends if Edmonton get a goalie. I think could be a factor.
Yeah.
Kelly go with Vancouver. And for her, say about Vancouver over there. So my next question, we stay with them. We're not going nowhere. Okay. Because my next question is, do you believe Edmonton make the playoff? Do you believe Vancouver make the playoff? Do you believe both teams make the playoff? Or do you believe both teams does not make the playoff?
Oh, man, that's a loaded question, Coach.
Well, I only need one answer.
Do I believe? Okay, what's the first question? Do I believe that
if Edmonton make the playoff, or Vancouver make the playoff, or both make the playoff, or both does not make the don't make the playoff?
Darn, this is tough. I mean, they're right there, but I'm gonna say. Oh my gosh. I think Dallas and Nashville will hang on. So I'm going to say they're both missing the playoffs.
Richard said both down. Nona said Vancouver. Kelly said is a hard question. That's the reason I ask it. Jose said Vancouver make it. Edmonton no. What you said?
I said both out.
Both out.
Yeah, and really, I'm basing it on the fact that I think LA has kind of solidified their position in there. I mean, it's not rock steady that they're going to make it, but I think they're solid. And we saw Dallas and Nashville yesterday. I think they have enough to just stay on top of those two teams, in my eyes, anyways.
Here we go. That number 9, and I put that jersey because he was with Buffalo, and that's I can put the Vegas, but I want to go with this. So we have a couple of questions, Mr. ENORTAP, right now. We know Jack Eagle's coming back tomorrow night again in Buffalo. So my question to you, and we know you have a lot of empty seat this season in Buffalo, like the 4, 5, 6,000 people. My first question is, and for the fans and the chat people, do you believe he's going to have more people in the building tomorrow night because Jack Eichel return and Buffalo tomorrow night?
Absolutely. I think they might not sell it all out, but they'll have more than what they've been having lately. It's their one opportunity to display their feelings about the situation themselves. I hope they have a video tribute for him already. It
all
might
right.
not be what we think.
So you expect more people in the building, right?
For sure.
All right. Remember when the first time John Tavares came back with it, they really played bad. Toronto, they got beat, and John Tavares he was not a welcome. Do you believe they will do a Tribune video?
No, I don't think they will. I don't think.
Do you believe the fans going to boo him?
Yes.
Do you believe is Jack Eichel the problem, or is the Buffalo Sabres the problem of that drama situation because he got traded?
Oh, Buffalo all the way. I think the Pagolas are really messing this organization up. And it starts with, I mean, you can't get rid of a generational player like Eichel, but they did.
All right, we welcome Mr. Danny T in the house, and Joseph Laham from Texas back with us. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
With us, don't forget to click on the likes. Sean B said Calgary Toronto will be the only two Canadian team in the playoff. Hopefully, Toronto will see a second round this season. At the flip side, on the same time, Kelly said, does Winnipeg have a chance to make the playoff?
Well, mathematically they do, Kelly, but I think they're at 60 points now. I think if I'm not mistaken, they opened up the season. They were like 9-3-2 or something like that. And ever since those first 10 to 12 games or 15 games, they've been playing at a clip of about 460. And that's not going to get it done for playoffs. They have issues that they need to address in that dressing room. And I think the biggest one is trying to determine what their identity is.
Yeah, I could be one there over there for sure. Sean said there is a chance, Kelly, but the top five and that zone are very strong about that. I agree with him about this. Ron Wicking said, looking at who has a player spot right now, who do you think is the weakest playoff team?
In the East or the West?
Right? Everywhere.
Everywhere. In the West, right now, Nashville and Dallas are in there. They're the two wild cards. I would say Nashville would probably be the weakest. And then in the East, you have the two wild cards are Boston and Washington. So I would say Washington.
Washington, have you found that?
Yeah.
My last question about Buffalo, Jack Eichel. Who do you believe win the trade at that moment?
Oh. I don't know. It's hard to say because we want Eichel obviously in Vegas to be successful, and so far he's gone off to a decent start. He's still not anywhere near where he should be, but remember he's been off from hockey for about 10 or 11 months now. So it's going to take a while for him to get his skates under him, and the good thing is he is getting acclimatized. I like the fact that Buffalo has Krebs and Tuck. I mean, those are good acquisitions. If Buffalo manages their team well, they will look good for going forward. I mean, just on defense alone, they're going to be solid. They just have to obviously get a strong goaltending duo to help them out. But who won the deal right now? I would have to say you go with the best player, and the best player would be Jack Eichel, so Vegas.
Awesome. We welcome Alexis Dubuc and Patrick Fan in the house.
Welcome, Alex.
A quick one right now here. Ovechkin scored a 766 goal last night, 2 goals yesterday. He missed an empty net, like he was upset about that. He missed twice, by the way, and he won that puck to get a hat trick every time that. He just tied a Jaromir Jagr, and now we are going to be, race chasing the next one and then the following one, the top of the top. Do you still believe Ovechkin right now is going to win?
Do I think he'll break Gretzky's record?
Yeah.
I think if he stays healthy, he might. I think he definitely has a solid chance at doing so. If his body starts to give out, which he's in great shape, he always has been. He's very similar to Jaromir Jagr. But if his body starts to give out, I don't think he's going to break that record.
All right. Alexis, je fais pas les deux games à soir. We want to mention Guy Lafleur got a great honor today, was recognized as the holder from Canada on the hockey side. So congratulations with Kim St. Pierre. Got this. We wish the best. We know he battled right now with cancer. And, so we wish the best for Guy Lafleur, but great to see that. And, he was one of the a hero for many, like Maurice Richard been. Guy Lafleur was a hero for the French Canadiens and all the fans for the Montreal Canadiens. So I just want to share that part over there. Talking about Montreal Canadiens, Jordan Harris got by the Hockey East division, the NCAA Division 1 at friend area in hockey, like Hockey East, the NCMT, and I can go all the way the Pacific 10 and everything like that, the Big 10, blah blah blah. But he was named the best defenseman on the Hockey East. Jordan Harris was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens. And my question to you, do you believe he's going to sign with the Montreal Canadiens, or you don't think he's going to sign with Montreal?
Well, before Montreal made the changes with the GMs and with Gorton, I would have said it's going to be very, very difficult. But I think they kind of made that one of their top priorities. And they've already had numerous meetings with him. So I got to believe that the relationship is there. They're trying to establish and open his eyes to what their game plan is for Montreal and how he fits into that game plan. And given that, I got to believe, yes, he will sign with Montreal.
All right. Alexis, Montréal, Canadien, Montréal, ce soir, Alexis. Leave extend Clifford contract today. 2 years contract, 2 ways anyway. 2 years contract. And then the another one, I cannot remember his name, Karlstrom, I believe, or something like that. Blackhawks, FM 97 is in the house.
Welcome.
The top 10 hockey fighter in NHL, Mr. ENORTAP. We have a combination, I believe it was from a website. You have George Larac, Ron Extall, Ty Domi, Chris Nyland, Gino Oljic, Stu Grimson, Tiger Williams, Dave Schultz, Rob Ray, and Bob Brober. My question to you is this. I have 2 questions. First, the list, you see this, do you have any, who do you believe is the best for you? And also, if you have one outside of those 10 players on this list, who it will be?
Well, the one outside of this list that I don't see on here, and I would definitely give it to, in my time, I didn't ever see him lose a fight, but it's not just about that; it's what he represented for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that would be Wendell Clark to me. Like, this guy stood up to heavyweights. It didn't matter who it was. If anybody took cheap shots at the Leaf players, he was right in the middle of it. And on top of that, he had a very successful career, and he was definitely a captain material. So I would give that award to him. From the list, I gotta love Chris Nyland, especially. He loves Montreal, but he's a guy that was born in Boston, and that's rare that somebody from Boston would love to not only play but live in Montreal. And on the same level, even tough guy, Rob Ray too. Yeah, the Rob Ray was another tough person.
Awesome. Roland, ask you, did I have somewhere that Avalanche are interested in Patrick Kane?
Yeah, well, the interest, at least the rumors are out there. That's what I would call it, Roland. But I really don't see him moving. If anything, it'll probably. I think Kane wants to remain with the Hawks and retire there, unless something goes off the tracks quickly and they get offered some great opportunity from any team, not just Colorado.
Dan said that Ronan said that pound for pound, Rick Ripien was a beauty.
He was a good one too, yeah, definitely.
Rems Bergeron, welcome aboard. Merci d'être ici, mon Rems. I think c'est la première fois. On te souhaite un bon bienvenue dans la maison du Hockey Nation Live Show. In French, he said that which team will trade for Ben Chariot?
Oh my! there's too many. I still I have to believe that in the West, Edmonton is still in that picture. I think Calgary's still in that picture. Maybe even well, St. Louis is more interested in Petrie. Um, maybe something with Dallas could materialize. I'm not sure. In the East, I can definitely see Toronto. I can see who else? The Rangers. Maybe Carolina, and definitely Florida.
I still stay with my three team, me, St. Louis Blues, Florida Panthers, and the New York Rangers.
Yeah.
They are my three team over there.
It's interesting. Like the fact that we haven't. I thought the Tyler Toffoli trade would open up the floodgates to some activity in the next couple of weeks, and it hasn't. I think teams are realizing just how strapped they are to stay within the salary cap, and they're also trying to figure out, like they probably have a prioritization of players they want to get, and as soon as one of those players is taken, then I think that's when the dominoes will fall. But this could be something that doesn't happen until the day before or the day of the 21st.
Yeah. Will be interesting. I think some move can happening Friday, I believe. Montreal come back in Montreal Friday tonight, and they have 2 days off. And sometimes you don't want to make a player play and get hurt before the trade. If they get a phone call for some team, could happen. I wouldn't be surprised happen Friday. If not, after that. But I will be certainly about that.
Well, I've heard, Coach, that apparently there's at least two teams that are definitely willing to give Montreal a first for Sherratt, but that's it. Whereas Gordon's holding out for a first and a prospect. And so we'll see how that works itself out in the end.
Yeah, definitely about that one there. For the Chicago, Patrick Kane, I don't see this happen this year. If Patrick Kane get traded, it's more next season when he become a UF3. I still believe Colorado is looking more for Chili Miller versus Giroux at that moment. Giroux is more looking for the Panthers at that moment. Also, I don't know if that's where he wants to go. He wants to stay on the East Coast for traveling. So that, for me, it make more sense to go to Florida versus the Colorado at that moment. So will be very interesting about that for the next couple of days. We are right now 12 days before it starts. Before we start, we're going to go where we're supposed to be. And we start also with who they are, who are they, and then of course we got another picture from Miss ENORTAP wife, and she sent me. ENORTAP started his career as a goaltender with the Pittsburgh. Then after that, he went to the Toronto Arenas. That's why he was involved with the hockey. He was initiate and he played. And then this is the grandfather at ENORTAP on the left side, and then he was a hockey player over there. He still have the same hat he got when he played with the Pittsburgh at the same time. So, Mr. ENORTAP, congratulations again for you.
Coach. No, wait a minute. I want to change this around. I want to ask our friends out there, the guy wearing the Arenas jersey, does he look more like me or does he look more like Coach? Let's hear it, guys.
Oh, you asking me now because I never played in Toronto. I still play in Montreal, but if it was at Toronto, it was maybe. But really interesting about that.
Well, I want to hear it from our fans.
And
there you go, Coach.
Everybody says now it's me. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you a picture when it would be the right time. I'm going to check why my picture are from Hooters, and I will give it to you tomorrow.
Oh, my God!
Easy tonight. Who is this goaltender?
goaltender?
Yeah.
Can't even see his number.
Well, that's the problem. Everybody tell me he's coach. Kelly said Jonathan Bernier. Roy. Varlamov. Kelly said.
Look, Rob, it's not.
Ron said Varlamov. Blackhawks said Roy. Roland said Varlamov. Jaden Collette said 4,000. And we have a lot of winner, by the way, is yes, we got it. Is Varlamov.
Yes.
Ron and Kelly and Roland, I believe, got Varlamov, Mr. ENORTAP. So great pick over there.
Awesome.
Easy one over there. And the last one is,
Oh my God!
it's from the Montreal Canadiens, another easy pick over there. Who is this goaltender? I can put this a little bigger. Oops. Here we go. I was really generous today. And it's not Kelly Jonathan Bernier. Rick Wamsley, Richard Mullen. Danny said Amen. Renan said it's not Roy. Poutine, welcome back. Richard is right. Did you enjoy the poutine in our tap from Poutine? Welcome aboard, Mr.
Delicious.
Poutine. Luc Lafortune said Thibault. Danny said Rick Wesley. Ron with King said Jose Theodore. Poutine said Theodore. Mr. ENORTAP, are you going to save everybody?
I don't know. Is it Abisher?
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Dave Abisher is the winner of this one over there. Everybody is saved by Mr. ENORTAP about that one over there. Mr. ENORTAP, we have only 2 games tonight. It's going to be easy pick for everybody. And for the people does not know how this works, you select a prediction of each game, who's going to win the game. And I did not change the goaltender. I apologize again. I just realized I was too busy. I have to do my pre-show game. So I apologize for that. But when I want to say you predict the winner of the game, then you give us the score of the game. And then you give us a fantasy player who's going to have the most points. And then now we do also the total of the goal is going to be score tonight for all the game on the program. So we have 2 games only tonight, and you have to give us the number of who believes going to get those. So that's what we at that moment, Mr. ENORTAP. You are the one to do this.
Yeah, that's the sum of all the games, the scores of all the games, right?
Yep.
Okay, so of course we have Montreal and Vancouver in our first match. I think this is the late start tonight, 10 or 10:30 tonight, Coach?
10:30.
10:30. Are you doing that game, by the way?
Yep. I'm going to do at 9 o'clock, I believe, also.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I do a pre-game show.
Right. Okay, so we have in net, we have Monty's for Montreal and Demko. The Canadiens are winners of 7 of their past 8 games that they've played against the Canucks. They have won 7 of 9 to pull closer to that wild card position now in the Western Conference. The Canadiens still, despite their success, remain in last place in the Eastern Conference after the dreadful kind of start that they had under some coach whose name escapes me now. But under St. Louis, they're 7-4 right now. So that's a good sign. I saw today in practice as well. He spent a lot of time, Martin St. Louis, he spent a lot of time talking to Drouin and was hopefully this is yet another player that he can kind of turn around, and we'll see if it makes a difference in his production. Caulfield definitely has benefited from him. He's got 14 points in 11 games, including 4 multi-point performances. Suzuki, we've been seeing he's really taken off as well. Petrie's been playing much better. We've seen quite a few contributions from players, but most importantly, we've seen a change in attitude, and that's, I think, the kind of environment that he wanted to create, and so far he's been very successful. The Canadiens' 31st ranked power play struck twice Saturday, and they also had a shorthanded goal, and those are 2 areas that they've been suffering from. So maybe slowly he's starting to inject some life in those specialty teams as well. The Canucks defeated Montreal 2-1 in their first meeting of the season back in November 29th. And it was back in Montreal. It was a very exciting game. It was well played. But for tonight, this game means just too much for Vancouver. They can't possibly entertain a playoff spot or chasing a playoff spot if they lose to a team that's right now 32nd in the league. So I'm going to take Demko and the Vancouver Canucks and Bruce Boudreau to win 4-2 tonight.
Yep, me too. And Ronan, you're right. The PK is the worst in NHL this season at 70.1 or 0.2. On the flip side, the power play is pretty good at 13-15 in NHL.
Yeah. And their last game is Washington and Edmonton. This is going to be a doozy. We have Samsonov coming in for Washington. So that worries me a little bit in terms of the Capitals. Smith was going to, I think he was slated as probable, but it's Koskinen. The last I heard, just to give you a heads up about that. And hopefully they put in Koskinen. Ovechkin will attempt to pass Jaromir Jagr for sole possession of 3rd place in the NHL all-time goals list when they played tonight. Like we said, he had 2 opportunities at the end with an empty net. Wasn't successful. We'll see if it happens tonight. Number 767. The 36-year-old veteran has 4 goals in the past 3 games and 36 during the 2021-22 campaign. The Capitals are 19-3-5 this season when he scores a goal. So that tells you just the importance of him for this team. Washington got back Anthony Mantha, who missed 45 games due to a shoulder injury, and he scored in his 3rd game back to help out in yesterday's cause. The Capitals, though, went 0-for-3 on the power play on Tuesday, but killed off their only penalty. They've killed off 17 consecutive opposing power play opportunities in 25 of the past 26, going back to February 13th. As for the Oilers, with 5 games left before the trade deadline, they need to determine very soon if they're going to be sellers or buyers. They trailed Dallas now by 3 points. So it's going to be tough. They open up a 5-game homestand as well. So, these are games that they're going to have to win. I'd say they have to go at least 3-1-1 in those 5 home games to really entertain the possibility of getting in the playoffs. The Oilers have scored 3 or fewer goals in 7 of their past games, and they're 2-5-1 in that span. And their power play which at one point was clicking at I think it was like a 32% rate, is now only at about 17%. So, it's all over that we're seeing problems with them. I think the key thing here, Coach, and we talked about it, and I brought it up, I think, yesterday. This is a different team when they score first or when they're chasing the play. When they score in the first, when the opponent scores first, they're 13-23. But when Edmonton scores first in the first period, especially, they're 17-0-0. And if they're leading after the first period, after the second period, they're 21-1. So that's the key. Can they score first and dictate the play? So I'm gonna
funny because we talk about this at lunch break. Andy Coivulo.
Oh yeah,
Coivulo. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. I think this game means just too much to Edmonton. I'm gonna take them to win 5-2. Washington's also on a back-to-back, and they have Samsonov in net, which he hasn't redeemed himself yet.
Awesome. Edmonton, and 5-2, 5-3. Welcome, Mr. Dawson. Sport Corner is in the house, following by Mr. Paul Fullo. Welcome, both of you. Don't forget, everybody, to click on the like if you don't mind. You still have the time to participate if you want to give us your score for both and the winner of both game, and also your fantasy players, and also the total of the game. So Kelly, exactly, Kelly is she said 15. And Mr. ENORTAP, what is your score tonight?
Well, I'm just going to add up what I put there. That's probably the best thing. 9, 11, 13.
13.
Lucky 13. Yeah.
I have 8 and 7. I said 15, but I go with 14. I feel like someone that's going to score. About
It's
that.
like The Price is Right.
Yeah, but
$1.
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised at the end it's 11, but I would still stay with my 14. But nobody have 11. I'm not familiar with this game. What is this game, Dawson? What you have to do, Dawson, is you pick a winner for each game. Like Montreal play Vancouver, you said to us Montreal win 5-3, and then after that you said Washington versus Edmonton. I select Edmonton, and we win. They win 3-2. Example. So the
Dawson, it's just the sum of all the scores for the night.
Yeah, so the next one after that. Kelly, yes, I got all your information about that. So that's the good things about this. We're going to finish the show right now at who are the fantasy players for tonight. And first of all, this is the score. I pick it up a little bit, not much, but, better than nothing. And tonight I go with Vancouver and Carlson, Quinn Hughes, Ovechkin, McDavid, and J.D. Miller. I did not took anybody from Montreal.
Yeah. Okay. With 2 games, ladies and gentlemen, it didn't leave me very many options. So I took, what did I take? Edmonton, and then I had to take Sherratt and Petrie. Draisaitl, Kane, and Suzuki tonight.
You got it about that. And Francois said, you both took Vancouver. Yeah, we do this. I don't know why, but Joseph Laham is an owner of the 2-1. They always go with their own team. Whatever who they play, they always go with Montreal, an owner, and also Joseph always go with that.
Coach. It ensures that we're always happy. If Vancouver wins, we're happy because we got the pick.
Well, that's the key behind that. That's the reason I go that way. I would be frustrated if I think Vancouver now they lose 5-1 tonight. So Miller is a fantasy everybody wants. Renan said, okay, thanks, guys. No problem. Dawson, is a pleasure. We are almost at the end of the show, like we do at the end of the show. We always go that way with it. And what I'm talking about, it's time to play the music. And it's time also to bring this. It's ENORTAP breakaway shootout. We are at the end of the show. When we hit that part of the show, it's Mr. ENORTAP is going to tell us what are you looking for tonight, Mr. ENORTAP, and that's it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking for an exciting game between Vancouver and Montreal. I know Vancouver should probably win this, but I like the transformation we've seen in Montreal with their players. I hope that they make this an exciting game, regardless of the score. And Edmonton, Washington, this is the perfect opportunity at home. They've had some rest. They have the better goaltender net between them and Washington. Washington's on a back-to-back. We'll see if Edmonton can finally start to put something together.
Yep, it'll be interesting about that. Edmonton, the great news for them, or for Vancouver. If Vancouver win and Edmonton lose, Vancouver are in great position. If Vancouver lose and Edmonton win, it makes sense. Like both of them win, but one of the two lose and they win. I think that's a great one over there. Here we go, Mr. ENORTAP. We have Dawson Sport Corner play with us tonight. And he said Vancouver win 3-2. I'll put this right there.
And Edmonton wins 4-3.
And Edmonton 4-3.
Good picks. And so your total, what do we have? 4, 3, 7, 10, 12. 12 is his total.
12 for Dawson Sport Corner. That's awesome. And fantasy, Mr. John Gregor, he said McGregor. Who is McGregor?
The referee.
John, the last one, he took McGregor. He was on the UFC. He beat St. Pierre Rafanel. So maybe McGregor, he was maybe win the second round, Mr. ENORTAP tonight. So maybe we keep him McDavid or McGregor?
I think he means McDavid, but we shouldn't ruin his.
I thought we were going to give him McDavid.
McGregor hasn't been winning either lately.
And Jaden Collette for the first time, Mr. ENORTAP. Jaden, he also joined us tonight. He said Montreal 4-1.
4-1.
And we have Edmonton 3-1. And then we have also Mr. Rams Bergeron. Love it. He said Montreal 5-4.
5-4.
And Edmonton 3-1. I'm going to count both.
Washington.
No, said McGregor is a water bottle. John Gregor laughing about that. And I'm doing a game tonight, Dawson, at 10:30. Of course, 9 o'clock, Mr. ENORTAP. We are back tonight at 9 o'clock. We're going to do a preview Montreal Canadiens, talking about the trade deadline, and possibly we talk about something else where I'm not sure, but we'll see. It's all about the team are rebuilding, Mr. ENORTAP, who they are the best, maybe on that. So I'm going to maybe bring that subject about that one there. Don't forget to click on the like where he said Andy. Oh, Andy just show up, Mr. ENORTAP, at the last minute. Andy, it just show up. Andy said...
I'm starting to get worried. They're all taking Montreal. What are we missing, Coach?
I don't know. And he go with Suzuki. So thank you so much, Mr. Andy. That'd be awesome. That's it, Mr. ENORTAP. Before we leave, of course.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
Yes, you have greatness inside of you. Yes, Mr. ENORTAP, thank you so much again for your insight. I think it was a great show for everybody to enjoy it. It was fun. We did everything about that. Tomorrow night, we are back again, 6 o'clock with the 13th game. Guys, if you want to play tomorrow night, show up early. We're going to start about 5:20 tomorrow night. We're going to go through the 13th game, so don't forget. We'll be back at 9 o'clock for the preview game until 10. Then we'll disappear. We'll come back at 10:30. Until then, my sir, of course, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only dominate your day. Find a way to dominate what, Mr. ENORTAP?
Your 2022.
Here we go. Have an amazing, great night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Coach.
Q puts in Kelly, John Gregor, Roland, Richard Malin, sorry, Dawson Sport, Glenwood Kings, François Pitt, Lunar, Andy Kouiwoula, François, thank you so much. Thank you, Ron.